Ho ho!
Tomorrow is a very attractive match. Real Madrid face one of the most informed teams in La Liga, Real Sociedad, who are now 11 matches unbeaten. How is Real Madrid approaching this game?
Well, as you just said, Real Sociedad's momentum speaks for itself, and they've been doing very well since the new coach arrived. He's unbeaten, 7 wins and 2 draws if I'm not mistaken, and they faced Barcelona and Atletico Madrid, so they haven't been playing just any teams. We know Real Sociedad very well, the threat they pose and how difficult tomorrow's match will be. We're fully aware that once again we'll need to perform at our very best and give maximum effort if we want to take the 3 points.
We saw Kylian Mbappe training with the group in the first few minutes today. He had been absent for 2 days. I imagine these 2 clean weeks have allowed each player to work on specific individual matters. In his case, the left knee. Is that knee in perfect condition now? Is he fully ready for tomorrow?
Yes, Kylian is fine. He trained with the group and he's available for tomorrow's match.
I wanted to ask you, as the first person speaking on behalf of Real Madrid, since the preliminary agreement between UEFA and the club became known, after everything that has happened over the years, how do you assess it?
I think the club has already expressed its position in the official statement, and I fully refer to that. I believe it's an agreement that is very good for football and that will be seen that way in the future.
Do you prefer your team to have clearly defined undisputed starters, or do you like some uncertainty around the lineups?
I have 25 players available every week. That's something I've always said. The starting 11 I choose is the best one for that particular match. Then I have 15 more players with tremendous quality and ability. As a friend of mine says, even the worst player here is as good as you. That means I'm incredibly fortunate to have such an extraordinary squad. I like everyone to feel important, to stay active, because opportunities can come at any moment. You never know how a match might unfold. All of them are working very well, and I understand and actually like that they feel valued and know they are all very important, each and every one of them.
You've been working with the squad for a month now, and you probably know them better. After this time, how do you imagine the team could play? What would be the best version of this team in terms of style of play?
I'm not thinking about anything beyond tomorrow's match. Obviously, as always, and if you asked me again in 5 years, I'd give you the same answer, there's always room for improvement, for evolution, for better understanding between the players and between what we as a coaching staff want and what they feel on the pitch. I'm quite pleased with how we've trained this week, the attitude, the effort, the intensity. Hopefully tomorrow we'll play a better match than the last one and a worse one than the next one.
About Carvajal. It's been a long week since that photo of him with Pintus at Mestalla surfaced. Have you spoken with him? How do you see him physically? Do you think he could get minutes soon? Is he far from his best level? Tell us how you see Carvajal at Real Madrid right now.
With Carvajal, as with all his teammates, I like to speak individually with the players. I try to talk to almost all of them every week. I have a wonderful, very comfortable gray couch where we sit and talk. I like to know what they feel and what they think, and for them to know what I think as well. As I've said this week, Carvajal is getting better and better. He's had another strong week of training. The person most interested in having Carvajal at his best level is me, obviously. I see him getting closer and closer to his top form. Of course, he'll have to prove it on the pitch, and I'm sure he'll do that very soon.
It's been a rather long month with many things happening. Has there been any criticism toward you or the team that surprised you or that you felt was unfair?
No, I'm new in this seat, but I'm not new at Real Madrid, so very few things surprise me.
I'd like to go a bit deeper into that couch where you have conversations with the players. In this month you've been at Real Madrid. Have you had a lot of activity there? Do you like players coming often, or do you prefer to keep a bit more distance?
I've had a lot of activity, a lot, because that's how I like to work. It's how I understand my role. When I was a player, I liked having that kind of relationship with my coach, and now that I'm the one sitting in this chair, I try to talk to all of them. We talk about everything, mainly football, of course, but it's always an open door for them. They know where I am. Sometimes they come to me, sometimes I call them in. That's what really matters to me. More than any leaks that might come from different environments, I'm focused on building a good relationship with all my players, and the closer, the better.
Since you took over the first team bench, Carvajal has played 29 minutes, 4.6% of the total. Do you see him upset with his situation? Do you understand that he might feel frustrated about his limited participation?
Look, for me, that's just part of football. A player who isn't getting the minutes he wants or isn't playing much, I wouldn't understand a player being happy in that situation. And I'm not just talking about Carvajal, but any footballer in this squad. They all want to contribute on the pitch. They all want to feel important. If they've reached Real Madrid, it's because they were very important players at their previous clubs. That's why they're here. What I always encourage them to do is work even harder every day in training. When someone isn't happy, they come to the grey couch, and there's no other possible answer. Always with unity alongside their teammates, and always putting the team's interest above the individual one, which is what this squad is doing. That's the path.
There was a team dinner this week. I wanted to ask you about it and also about your time as a player. I imagine you had plenty of dinners, some more conspiracy style, others more about friendship. I remember Cristiano saying he wasn't really into team dinners and gatherings. Do you think the team needed a dinner like that?
I like seeing them united. That's one of the things I've insisted on most since I arrived, how important it is to stay together over the 4 months we have ahead. No matter what situations we have to face, always together. Seeing them have dinner together makes me very happy. They have time to enjoy themselves. We trained phenomenally. On Tuesday, we had a great session, very intense, very focused. From that point on, I'm delighted if they want to have dinner as many times as they like. For me, that will always be something positive. And I miss those dinners from my playing days too. Cristiano used to come quite often as well.
I wanted to ask you about last night's Copa del Rey semifinal. Atletico versus Barcelona. Did you watch it? Did you enjoy it? And does it perhaps give a positive feeling that this Barcelona might be more vulnerable than it seems?
I have nothing to comment on. You'll have to ask Barcelona and Flick.
Asensio, who has taken big steps forward, it's true that he didn't train yesterday. How is he? What's his condition? And also Hauser, who perhaps is the opposite. He looks a bit off. I don't know if the whistles have affected him, if you've spoken to him. Tell us a bit about both players.
Last Sunday in Valencia, we fielded a backline younger than 3 reserve teams in Primera Federación last week. So we have players with enormous potential and already delivering high performances despite their age. Players who, as I've said before, maybe by age should still be in Primera Federación, yet they're already international players at a very high level, and they're proving it. For me, both Din and Raúl don't just have a future ahead of them, they're already showing their personality in the present. It's not easy, I know what I'm talking about, to be a defender at Real Madrid. I'm very happy with them. They're obviously very different players, but each one with his characteristics gives us so much. I see them not only more prepared each day, but also more aware of how important they are within our team.
It's been 1 month and 1 day since your appointment as Real Madrid head coach. I'd like you to reflect a little. Did you expect the Real Madrid bench to be like this? And does it really wear you down as much as your predecessors have said?
I'm not here to take stock. I've already seen that the before and after didn't even last a month. I'm very happy here, very calm, eating a lot, just in case, and with plenty of energy to prepare tomorrow's match and everything that lies ahead. I feel privileged to be sitting in this chair. It's an incredible blessing to be at Real Madrid in any role, and being the coach of the best team in the world is, for me, a privilege and a fortune that I will enjoy until the very last day.